if you've ever really wanted to start something new, begin a new habit, and just couldn't start the thing, or when you did, it just dropped off really quickly, then this video is for you. Most people don't fail at habits because they lack discipline, despite what lots of people might tell you. They fail, or we fail, because our nervous systems don't have the capacity to start or to stay with a new habit. So what we're going to do here is look at why the body is blocking our ability to start the habits or stick with them, and how, when we learn to work with that understanding, change actually becomes possible. So let me ask you this. Have you ever really wanted to do something and just put it at the back of your mind, or never just quite got round to starting it? Might have talked about it, wrote about it, but never actually did the thing. Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear. There's no shame here. Let's just start talking about the things that we would like to do. Let's open up that dialogue. A kind of framing of like, I've always wanted to be the kind of person that does whatever it is. For me, it was mountains. That's going to be a whole other video. But yeah, just naming some of the things that you'd like to look at and things you might want to start adopting in your either day-to-day life or a big challenge or adventure. No pressure, but yeah, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. There's loads of genuinely helpful habit advice out there. James Clear, Atomic Habits, loads of useful advice and tools in there. Brilliant. The thing is, this only works if we have the nervous system capacity to adopt them, because what underpins a lot of this habit advice is the assumption that we're beginning at neutral, that our nervous system is already steady or has the capacity to begin. Now, oftentimes, I'm recording this video ready for January, and this time of year, if you think about it, and this applies at any time of the year, but particularly this time of year, say you've been quite busy with Christmas and so on, we're already carrying a lot of our emotional, say, loops, cognitive loops, allostatic load in the body, the stresses and strains of just what we've just been experiencing. Like I say, any time of the year, we're always carrying some form of load or stresses within the body. So when we're trying to start something new, a new habit, it's going to meet us where we're at in terms of our capacity. And that is going to massively affect and impact how and whether the new habit is able to be fully adopted and integrated into our lives. Now, this video can apply to any habit, anything that you want to start and do, but I'm just going to reflect on my gym story. So relating it to fitness, I've always worked out. And about 12 years ago, I went to the gym, started lifting some weights, going on machines, going to some classes there. And I quite quickly decided, oh, you know what, this isn't for me, and I'd rather just work out at home, a bit more convenient. And I'd created a narrative around why the gym wasn't for me. I didn't understand at the time that that was a created story. I hadn't registered the tension I was feeling in my body when I was in the gym, the feeling of self-consciousness, the lack of trust in my abilities, all of these things that were quietly eating away at this new habit I'd started. And I just created the narrative or the story, oh, I don't need this, it's not really for me. And when it worked out at home. Have you done anything similar? Is there a story or an excuse or a reason that you have created around a justification for not doing the thing? So yeah, I'd love to hear from you about that as well. Because I think this is really, really common. And I often think we don't even know we're doing it. So anyway, fast forward, 2 years ago, went back to the gym. Now my nervous system capacity has grown and I'm a bit more aware of what's going on in terms of my body's feedback and my internal narrative. So this time I'm arriving there, I've still got the same stuff going on. I'm maybe a bit more aware of it, still feeling a bit self-conscious, a little bit moments of self-doubt, all those things. But I recognise them for what they are. They're information, they're not instruction. So let me bring that to an exercise point. Whenever we're doing something difficult, like Stairmaster, for me, the last 5 minutes, always when that internal battle will begin. There'll be body feedback. So my amygdala will be firing up because my heart rate's going, and it could easily create a story of, oh, we need to quit this, it's not okay. even though, say, indicating on my watch, everything's fine, really. We've just increased my heart rate within safe parameters. At the same time, I'll create a narrative, oh, you don't need to do this. We're maybe underneath that, there's a lower lying of like, you don't need to do this. Are you really capable? Self-doubt narrative as well going on. But I recognise this now as information, something to work with. That resistance is a story and maybe an area, something to look at, maybe allow an emotion to complete and look at what's deeper. The point I'm trying to get at is the environment hadn't changed and I hadn't really changed in terms of all of the doubts, but I was able to recognize it for what it is. This was coming in as information, body feedback, old narratives, maybe some limiting beliefs. And by bringing awareness, particularly to myself and also my breath, so those patterns and my breath, knowing I was in control of my breath sometimes, or at least bringing awareness to it in those intense moments, helped me stay grounded in myself. So I was able to tap more into that place of reason. And so when the resistance comes up, I don't see it as a reason to quit. I now treat it as a signal, something to look at perhaps. So I'm self-regulating through my awareness. I'm self-regulating through my breath awareness and directing the breath as well, even in those high intensity moments. But it helps me distinguish the facts and the feedback between an actual action. It's not an instruction to an action to quit. And that's the difference between forcing yourself, like overriding and pushing through, and understanding capacity. And as capacity grows, something really important happens. Habit advice starts to work, it sticks. We become consistent because we've opened up this level of communication with ourselves and understanding that lots of this is signals and feedback, not instruction. I'd really like you to take away with you from this video is to know oftentimes the reason why we don't adopt these habits or stick with them isn't because of lack of discipline. It's just that your nervous system or your body hasn't felt safe enough to stay with them yet or start them. And when we start working with that capacity, increasing that capacity, consistency follows. And if you really find that what shows up for you is a long list of excuses and that's really getting in the way for you, I'll leave a link to a video here which explores excuses as clues, and that might be useful. It's been really wonderful to have you here. I'd love to hear more from you in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.